How long do you think we should give everyone to get in?
Okay. I feel like people are still coming in. There you
Yeah,
go.
well,
I was
yeah.
having an identity crisis before. So, but I'm Lindsay Williams and I'm old but new to middle school. I did middle school, spent 14 years in elementary. Now I'm back in middle school. So
Cool.
What middle
Welcome
school are you
back.
at?
I'm at Swansboro Middle School. We had a
Okay.
tragedy. The Swansboro Middle School teacher passed away in December, and she was amazing. But it was time for me to move up, so I went from Swansboro Elementary to Swansboro Middle. So I get to teach my kids again, which I'm excited about.
That's awesome. I guess we can go around and just introduce ourselves. Just tell a little bit about yourself, where you're currently teaching or about to teach, I guess, and maybe where you graduated from. So I guess I'll start it. My name is Nini Mien. I currently teach at Stanley Middle School, which is right outside of Charlotte. I'm going into my seventh year of teaching, and we're in our second week of school, and I graduated from Wingate University, um, where my teachers were Dr. Kenny Potter, if you know him. So yeah, and I also serve on the NCMEA board with Beth, and Beth was the um, middle school teacher of the year NCMEA last year. So
Why you
tag
gotta
your
do
it,
that?
Beth. Why not?
Okay, so I'm Beth, and let's see, I start chronologically, I guess. I went to Virginia Tech for undergrad and grad school, and then I taught in Florida for 3 years, and I now teach at Bailey Middle School near Charlotte. Um, and I've been there for this is year 10, and we don't start until next week, so I'm in my workday era right now. And yeah, I'm on the board with Nini. So whoever's next, let's go, Sarah.
All right, my name is Sarah, and I'm going into my sixth year of teaching, so I don't have beginning teacher like too far in the rearview mirror. I teach at Grace Creek Middle School, which is in Cumberland County, right outside of Fayetteville. I went to Methodist University, which is in Fayetteville. Sadly, their music department is no more. It was dissolved. It was a whole thing. But it's sad that it doesn't exist and all of the professors there were displaced, but it is what it is. It happens. I Before I finish up, I would love to know everybody's schedules at some point. So if I forget that, I would just love to know like what scheduling sort of stuff we all have. All right, cool. Did I miss something? I don't think so. Okay.
I'll go. Lindsay Williams. I'm going in my 20th year of teaching. I graduated from the Crane School of Music. It's up in SUNY Potsdam, which is in Potsdam, New York. I have lived in North Carolina for the last 20 years this December. So my husband was in the Marines. So I have spent my whole teaching career teaching in Onslow County Schools, which is the east part above Wilmington, right where that hurricane's coming. So, and I currently teach at Swansboro Middle School. I started teaching at Newbridge Middle School, which is a magnet school, my first 5 years, and then I was moved to elementary school because of a budget cut. So, and then I spent the last 14 years teaching elementary school, and then I moved myself back to middle school. So, and I'm excited about starting over again. So, but I also do feel like it's my first year all over again. So, I'm excited to be here with you. But it's a very weird position to be in to have like that 20 years of also feel like you're starting over. So, but thank you for having me.
I'll go next. My name is Evan Frame. I am a first year teacher in Pitt County. I'm at Pactolus Global School. I'm teaching, it's a K through 8 school, so I'm teaching elementary general music and then chorus. So it's going to be fun. I went to ECU for tuba performance and graduated 2024. Went to Oklahoma for a few months to do air traffic control training, and now I'm back and I got hired last week. So everything's getting thrown at me right now.
I'll go. My name's James here. I'm actually a high school chorus teacher in my second year of that, but I taught middle school for 12 years in the school that's my feeder. And these are also the schools that I attended. So I've like stayed right there. At home, I went to Campbell University for music composition. I switched to pharmaceutical science, went for my master's in that, and then went right into teaching music. So putting all that lab work and biotechnology to work. But I love what I do. But like I said, I teach high school. But Mr. Butler asked me to hop on the middle school group to see if I could support, because I did that for quite a while and was involved in all the NCMEA things. And Sarah and I are from the same, or we are in the same town, and we've worked together for a number of years. And she observed me some in her observation semester, and still became a teacher, still became a chorus teacher. And I'm so
I
glad she
did.
did.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed it though. You're a great teacher.
I appreciate that. She mostly laughed at me, so or
I did.
with me.
I
So,
think it was with you, but you
yeah,
have top tier jokes that sometimes just go straight over their heads. And I think that was my favorite part, was that sometimes they didn't get it,
yeah.
but
Evan,
I
you kind
did.
of make jokes out loud to yourself
Uh-huh.
just for personal morale boosting, and there'll be like a kid in the room that's like, yeah, um,
Exactly. That's how we get by in middle school, right?
yeah. This is also my cat. If you see the tail keep wiggling in, this kitty. So she has to be wherever I am. Next. Or was that everybody? Do we hear from Kristen?
No, I am Kristen. I am currently teaching at Art Middle School, which is in Hickory. I graduated from Lenore Rhine this May, so like 2 months ago or something. And I'm currently getting my master's in teaching this year. So
Where are you doing that? Your master's?
also at Lenore Rhine.
Are they supporting you through EdTPA yet? Have you started that sort of thing?
Yeah, they do like this dual thing where even though I was a music education major, you don't take your ed TPA and your praxis until your master's year. And so I've majored in education, but I never did student teaching. So I'm just jumping right in.
Same girl. No classroom experience. Well, no, I didn't say this. I was a sub for 2 years. So that was trial by fire. We can get to that. Substitutes. You'll have to miss someday. So,
When I was student
anyway.
teaching in New York, they made you do everything. So I student taught in elementary school, middle school, and high school. So I was able to decide that I wanted to be a middle school teacher right away. And then, I mean, obviously I'm crazy. So, but, and then I came back to it. So even crazier. I did forget to say I am on the big board. I'm in the Music in Our Schools month for the state of North Carolina. I'm the co-chair of that. So, so I love when people are involved with Music in Our Schools month. So if you ever need ever have any ideas, I'm the one to email.
I guess we can start off with what Sarah was asking about schedule from everyone. So feel free to speak at any time. So don't feel like Beth and I are the only one, or James are the only one that are leading this conversation. So my setup for my classes, I teach 6 classes per day. I have a year-long schedule. So I have 2 per each grade level. So in the morning, I start off with 7th. I have half of my planning, and then 6, my other half of the planning, and end with 8. Each class is about 45 minutes long, and they go by pretty quick. And the way I have it set up, when they're coming in from elementary school, whoever signs up for chorus. And for 7th and 8th grade, like what Carol was saying earlier, make friends with the guidance counselor. So I'm very lucky that I have a good relationship with them, and also my principal. They allow me to, have my classes separated the way that I want them to be separated. So I just send them a list, and they work the other schedules around it, basically.
So my schedule is the exact same as yours. Literally that order 7 7 6 6 8 8, which is wild. But I was just wondering because we also have 45-minute classes and they go by so quickly. It's like, how do I get everything done? But I was wondering if any of you, and of course we haven't heard from everybody, have longer classes, and like how do you do that in middle school? Because 45 minutes I feel like is just short enough, but also just long enough to handle.
I have 75-minute classes, and it feels like forever, but I get a lot done in a shorter class period, I feel like, or not a shorter class period, but shorter amount of time. So since I can spend more time at once on something and not have to spread it out between a lot of days, I think it's helpful sometimes. The thing I don't like is that I'm A day, B day, and semester classes. So I really only have a quarter with my kids. So there's 75-minute classes for 9 weeks. So that part's kind of not great. And mine are, I do 8th grade, and then I do planning and recess duty. And then 6th grade, no, and then 7th grade, and then 6th grade. And then B day is the same. And I have like mostly choir, and then I have 2 general music classes in second semester.
You have recess in middle school? Is that what you just said?
That is, yes, that's what I just said. So there are 1,900 kids in our school,
Are there
and
slides and sandboxes? And
no, there's a track, soccer field, basketball goals, foursquare, pickleball, and
so
then
they
some
have
kids just
PE
hang
and you
out.
watch them.
Yeah, I babysit
Oh,
for
okay.
like 45 minutes to an hour.
I'm sorry.
I actually am tasked with doing our 8th grade silent lunch, so I don't get to watch recess. I have to discipline. But I'm the mean and scary one, so it's fine.
My schedule, I have homeroom, so I don't get to have a morning duty. I guess that's a toss up, but I do homeroom, and I'll be responsible for doing like bag checks and we do like a SEL stuff in the morning. For the, obviously we do the first 5 minutes is like getting attendance, and then 40 minutes of helping them, making sure they're staying on task with their other classes, and having them they're going to have to like write down their classes and their average every Monday, checking in with them. Wednesdays and Fridays are SEL related. And then if there's kids that are like all caught up in everything they're doing and they have good grades, then they're allowed to they still have to do something educationally, and they can also do something musically. So if let's say they're my kid, I have 8th grade homeroom. So if they're my 8th graders, they can, I might task them with helping me catalog my music. So that's educational, right? So, but they can do something like that. And then I get like a 5-minute buffer, and then I have 6th grade, AB class, 45-minute classes. I have planning, then I have 7th grade, I have 30-minute lunch, and then I have 8th grade until the end of the day. So, and I'm teaching 1 class of chorus and 1 music appreciation per grade level. So, which I think is a good transition coming up from elementary, because I've already been doing that. So I'm excited about doing both. But I think my goal for next year is to take my praxis in theater and offer theater instead of music appreciation the second half of the year. So I think more stuff would be better. This year is the first year ever that my middle school will be offering chorus for 7th and 8th grade only full year. They have been half-year courses as long as I've been in this county. And that was kind of one of my things coming up, was I wanted a full year so that I could be able to build a program and be able to do things like all state and MPA. Those are important to me. So being able to have at least my 7th and 8th graders consistently throughout the year will help me do that. So we'll see if it works. So 6th grade is still going to be semester based for now, and also allows them to be able to take band and orchestra too. So they can take band and chorus, or orchestra and chorus. And then maybe by 7th grade, they decide if they want to stay with me or the instrument program.
I can go next. Just bear with me here because it's a little different. Today was actually my first day in my school, and the first day I was able to be talked to about a schedule. So I start off, I don't know about morning or afternoon duty, but I start off with 7th grade chorus. I have 2 classes, 7th grade chorus, each 40 minutes long. Then I have a 6th grade chorus that is 40 minutes long and my planning period. And then that's when I start the general music. I have 4th, 5th. And then after lunch, I have K or 1, 2 or 3. The elementary rotation is 1 or the other. So it's 4th or 5th grade one day, 2nd or 3rd grade one day. And then at the end of the day, I have 1 8th grade chorus class. So it's interesting, kind of all over the place, but we'll get through it.
You'll make it. I have an alarm set for every time that has to change, because we don't have a bell schedule, because all of our classes and teams are on different schedules. So there's a bell at the beginning and a bell at the end. But I will tell you, the timer on my phone is a lifesaver. It dings 3 minutes before class ends, and then when class ends, and that's how I run my day, is everything's timed, or I wouldn't know what to do. So, but you'll make it.
I can also go. My schedule is also very odd. Our school is only 7th and 8th for middle schools. And so 6th is included in elementary. We also, I don't know if I'm blessed to come into a huge program, but we have like 200 to 300 kids signed up for choir this year. So that's like 150 in 7th and then around 150 in 8th. And so I have A day, B day, and I have 3 7th grade choirs per day, and then 3 8th grade choirs per day. And then of course my homeroom in the morning. But yeah.
Having like 200 or 300 kids is wonderful.
That's definitely a blessing.
I had around 180, 190, and that was by far the largest one in our county. And it was a fight. It was a fight every year to like keep kids from dipping out into a class that a friend was in, or, oh, this class seems elite because those kids get to take pictures one day instead of being in a room, or so. They find all kind of reasons. And so to walk into a school where it's already prioritized for whatever reason is something to be thankful for. A lot of people start out with 30 and 40 kids and teach general music the whole rest of the day to middle schoolers. So yeah, you should feel pretty good. What county are you in again?
I'm in Catawba County.
Catawba.
Do y'all
Okay,
have
cool.
any other
Yeah.
questions?
I was gonna say the same
Y'all have
thing. Did
any
we
oth-
miss
any other
anybody, and
que-
do we have any more questions?
Yeah, do y'all have any other questions or topics you would like us to discuss or talk about? I know, I think Evan and Kristen, you are the newbies here. So if there's anything you would like us to help with, feel free.
I have found it difficult to ask questions because sometimes I feel like I don't know where to start, is a good way to put it. I mean, I think about it, and I mean, I'm just a measly tuba player reading bass clef, and then I'm like, I'm going to be teaching a middle school chorus. I I am blessed with like 8 filing cabinets full of rep, which is great. And I have another music teacher who is helping me out, and my mentor at my school is the guidance counselor. Talk about making ties with guidance counselors who also taught choir. So I feel like I have a lot of good connections, and also my fiance, she is she wanted to be a chorus teacher, but now she's an elementary general music teacher, and she's, I think, vicariously living through me at this point. Um, but sometimes I just feel lost at where to start with a program like this, and I don't know where to hedge my bets, or what the students are at.
I, one, as a former marching band kid, don't don't sell yourself short on being a tuba player. It's a lot of effort goes into that. I had to take a whole semester of tuba. It was not easy. Uh, I was, yeah. Um, if that's where you have your experience, I would start with breath support. I would start with sight singing. Start with the things that you know, and then you can add in the extra things. I mean, it's all, at first you might not have things like vowel shapes or whatever down, but the musical things you can start with, and then you can add as you go, is what I would say. Just take what you already know and then maybe add one or two things. Like, I wouldn't try to learn everything all at once, is my suggestion.
That is a good suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, but I don't know what the expectation at your school is, but in our county, it was to do 2 concerts a year, and that's December and May if you're a year long. And so you have a lot of time at the beginning of the year to teach them posture and warm ups and maybe not getting to sight reading on paper or off a screen really quick. They really pick it up in their ear first. So just teaching them solfege and having them sing scales, and you can get them going in warm ups and scales and things in unison, and then you can build into canons or um, just you really take your time ramping it up. They don't need to like know a song in 3-part harmony by the middle of September. You
Uh,
have a lot of time. You really, I always stockpiled a lot of musicianship stuff in September, and that sets the tone for the rest of the year when the rep becomes a lot of the focus. And you can introduce some rep to them. And you can start unison. Like you don't know where they are, but you'll know pretty quick. Um, you'll go over. I'm sure your principal is going to be telling you to, and your guidance counselor and your mentor, tell you to go over procedures and expectations and little things like that for the first week. I would
right.
talk about them the first 2 weeks for most of class. I might tell them like little rabbit trail stories. They love to hear you talk if you can tell a story. Um, and you just get them to sing and feel good about being there. And yeah, I don't. There's some things. There's old sayings like "Don't smile at them till November" and things like that. But that's not really a thing I would ever ascribe to. But that's definitely not music, because these kids are going to want to know that you're there to do it with them, and really your enthusiasm will go a long way. You don't have to do tricks and do and shout how much you love music, but just if they feel an energy off you that you're there to help them, and if you've played in college, you know music. I'll say too, I was a trumpet player. I was a band kid too. It's not uncommon at all. You join some Facebook groups, like I'm a choir director, and like weekly there's somebody that comes on and says, I was a band kid and I'm stuck teaching choir. What do I do? And I don't know, you just do it without blowing into an instrument. It's really not as different maybe as you might think to begin with. Um, but I don't know. I've talked a minute. Does anybody else have anything?
I would just yes to everything James said, but also um going from like the band perspective to the choral perspective, your body is your instrument. And so making sure that they know that everything that they eat, drink, whatever is affecting that instrument. And then also you need to be aware that if you critique something, it could be it's it's wrong with me, and then because our body is our instrument, you if you critique it and they are not a they haven't quite separated the my voice here and me as a person here, it could be that there's something mixed in there where they think that their self-worth is tied to how their voice sounds. And so especially with middle schoolers, because they're all up in their feelings, um, it can it can be hard to help them make that distinction that, you know, they are a person with a voice, and sometimes we have to separate those two, especially when our voice is not developed the way that they think it should be, and they should be able to belt like nobody's business. But you know, physiologically, is that a word? They're not they're not able to. So I think that keeping that in mind, because they have to trust you. Singing is such a vulnerable thing. Just building that trust at the beginning helps a whole lot. And then another thing he said was to join the I'm a choir director Facebook page. The internet is one of my best professional developments. I'm on all the Facebook groups, every TikTok teacher. Like I watch all of those, and I just take and steal and do all the things in my classroom, and usually my students love them. So definitely use that to your advantage.
Evan, you ever have a playing test in school?
Yeah.
You have to play your tuba part for everybody. Do you remember how some kids would blame it on their reed
Yep.
or their vowels were sticking?
Uh,
We don't have that. Like like so when kids voice crack, it's a thing. But you just make it normal. Like your voice cracks sometimes, my voice cracks sometimes. Sarah, what do you do with voice cracks?
You got to embrace the crack.
Don't you have a Hall of Fame?
I
Or-
do. Yeah.
yeah.
So I always, and they're like, yeah, I can't believe you said that. And I'm like, well, we have to make it normalized. So I have a voice crack wall of fame on my wall. So when it happens, they sign the wall. And it's something that now they're like, my voice cracked. I get to put it on the wall. And so it's not embarrassing for them anymore. Which it can be. And I have a lot of boys that are like, no, I can't sing high because my voice is gonna crack in the beginning. And then by the end of the year, they're like, I get to sign the wall. And so I think just taking all these things that are amplified in their mind and just bringing them down and making it fun is also a great part of being a middle school teacher. I took a picture of one of the slides that she had. Should we talk about these questions? So how do you handle cell phones? Especially with the new bill that's coming out this year. It seems like it's quite a mess. um the bill says something, or at least in my county, they can have it during they can have their phone during transitions and at lunch. But other than that, their phone's supposed to be put away. Our policy at my school is that it goes in the locker and stays there. However, for eighth grade, because I have them at the end of the day, they bring all of their stuff with them. So we use their book bag as their locker. I have a space where they can charge their phone, although they haven't been using it all day. Somehow it's dead. And so I find that if I have a little place for them to charge their phone, they're not on it. And I don't have to fight the battle of why are you on your phone right now type thing. And I don't have to take it, and we don't have to go through all the hullabaloo. I can just say, who needs to charge their phone. They know it's there, and then I usually don't have a huge problem with cell phones.
It could just depend on your school too, because like I'm super spoiled. My school for the past 10 years that I've been there has had like if the policy that it needs to be off and in your backpack, and if a teacher sees it at all, whether it's off or on or whatever, they can take it from you and put it in the front office, and your parents have to come pick it up. So we don't have big phone problems because kids are not on them. So just check with your school too.
Yeah, same here. I'm with Beth. They're off and away in their book bag. We don't use lockers at our school, so they carry around the book bags everywhere. But yeah, it's just based on each school what they do with their phone. So. I know Beth is stepping aside for a second. So our new folks, just a few things in terms of middle school course stuff going on this year. In September, at the end of September, there's honor course audition. If you're interested in that, this year the audition piece is Hallelujah chorus from Judas Maccabeus by Handel. So basically, for this event, you bring, I believe it's what is it? Help me, Beth. Top 15% of their school population or something like, or course.
20% maybe.
20%.
I don't know.
Right.
I only bring like the few kids that can do it, so it doesn't even matter.
I usually bring like 5 to 10 kids. Those are like your high flyers and who loves chorus and everything about chorus.
I'm bringing 2.
I don't even know who I'm bringing yet. So that event takes place at the end of September. I think it's split up into west, central, east. So just go to the nearest site for the audition.
If one doesn't work for you, you can switch and do a different one there.
Yes. So for that, all that registration is already opened. It's on the NCMEA website. Ben McKinnon from Belmont Middle School, he is the chair for that. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out to him or to me or Beth, and we'll get in touch with you with Ben. For the audition, they sing that piece and they do a little sight reading, and from that they get scored. Then depending on each year, the cutoff point, whatever it may be, that's how they get into the choir. So if they get selected, they'll sing at the actual choir that is made up at the NCMEA conference on the Saturday and Sunday. And then we also have our NPA event. For this year, for our large ensemble, it's going to be in March. Again, just depending on where you're located. But we have various sites throughout the state. The registration is already open, so just go online, register, send your check, or you can pay online nowadays with a credit card or whatnot. And for that, you bring 2 pieces to be performed in front of 3 judges, and then you have to sight read after that. We also have a solo/small ensemble NPA, but that's only at one location in our whole entire state, and that is in Gastonia. So if you are interested in bringing like a small group, like 20 students, or if you want to bring solos, quartet, duets, this year we are open up to musical theater. So for that, you just bring your kids, they sing in front of a judge, and then it's really what's the word? Less intimidating than your NPA. And with NPAs, don't be scared to do them. It's all about having the kids experience that. Whatever the outcome may be, just do your best and have fun. And if you're at that point, if you feel like, oh, I'm not ready for a rating, you can go in as comments, and the judges will help you, be your extra ears, and give you, feedbacks for your choirs, and also in March, I believe the second weekend, the 12th and the 13th, is the All-State weekend. For that, it's going to be in Winston-Salem this year. Well, long story short, for that, you register and you get like an allotment based on the number of students that are in a choir. And then we have a, what is it, Beth? Is it sixth grade treble?
Yeah, so sixth grade treble, and then a seventh and eighth grade treble, and then a mixed. And your allotment is at least 3. So as long as you register, you get at least 3 kids that can go. So it doesn't matter, like your allotment is based on the percentage of kids in your program, but at least 3. So if your percentage is way less than everybody else and you would only get 1, we're not going to be like, you can only bring 1 kid.
So,
Oops, sorry. I was also just going to add, don't feel like you have to do all of it, especially in your first year, because I know it can be extremely overwhelming. When I got into middle school, I was taking over, some of you heard Lisa Packer in the beginning with like the sound issues. I took over her program when she moved back down to elementary school. So she was already doing all these things. And so I kept going, but it was extremely overwhelming for me to make sure that I was meeting the deadlines and doing the things. And I had her as a mentor to like hold my hand the whole way, which was nice. But just don't think that you have to do all the things either. So keep that in mind.
I mean, my suggestion, if you were only going to pick one, I would say do NPA your first year, just because you're already preparing your kids for a concert. You're already preparing them with sight reading and all those kinds of things. So NPA is going to benefit all of your students. It's also going to benefit you because you'll get feedback, they'll get feedback. And Evan, I'm gonna direct this towards you, but it's only because it's the band world. NPA and at least the middle school choral section is not a competition. It's not a big scary, oh my God, I have to get a 1. Like I'm one of the middle school judges, and I'm not judging you. I mean, I'm judging you, but I'm not judging you in that way. Like, I don't care. I'm just giving your kids feedback about what could make them a little tiny bit better. And the score is just the score. I tell my own kids, like, superior is superior, but an excellent is still excellent. Like, you don't have to, I don't know, it shouldn't be this big scary thing that we do. And again, if you want to just go for comments only, you can still get those comments and not have to worry about the scary score. So that would be my suggestion if you had to pick just one, just because it would benefit the most students.
I'm sorry, I disappeared. My phone and my computer died, and then I couldn't get in. But the one thing, we had our music meeting today, and we talked about NPA and about the music list, and the music list is on NCMEA, where you can choose from, but you can not choose from the. Did you guys talk about this? You can not choose from the list, and you would just go as a level 1. So you can choose whatever music you want as long as it's not pop. Is that correct, Beth?
It can't be Broadway, pop, or there was something else, but it's all that like genre. But again, with the levels, like I'd never look at the levels. Like, can you sing the music that you signed up to sing? Yes, no, that's your score. Like, I'm not. And even when we're trained as adjudicators, we just make sure you're singing a level that's appropriate for the kids that you brought. So I don't know. I go as a level 1 a lot of times because I don't always pick something off the list.
I know when I was in middle school before, it was like you had to pick a level and everything like that. So it's definitely changed over the last 14 years. So, but for the good.
Yeah, it's changed a lot just the 10 years I've been in North Carolina. So
The issue with the list is there's almost 1 million pieces that are appropriate now, and the committee is not going to buy a copy of every one of them and take the time to listen to them and give them a rating. That was when I started in 2012, the list was, I don't know, 100 pieces. Half of them were out of print and things. So the list is a pretty good guide as to what the levels are, but it might just be more for example pieces if you want to look at them and then look at your music and be like, "Ooh, I'm kind of overshooting this." Or you're right. The judges and Susan Townsend, who was over MPA for quite a while, she always said that the level does not matter as to what the list says or anything like that. She's going to see if your kids can handle what they're handling and or what you gave them to handle. And a lot of it comes down to tone and balance and blend. That's what separated choirs from me. And when I knew we were going to get a superior, or when it was more, I don't know if this is our year, but that it gives the kids feedback and it gives you feedback. And I never got a comment from anybody that I felt, well, that was like overly critical or out of line. It's all with this like cheerleader, you can do this. Man, if this would be cool right here. It's not, come on, man. There was a crescendo at measure 13 and you botched it. No, there was never any haughtiness. And now they do audio comments. So you're familiar with the marching band realm of things. They hold those recorders and leave you, they talk the whole time you're singing, and you can hear them in real time, react, and they'll say good things and they'll give you things to work on. I put links to all three of those things in the chat. So honors chorus, MPA, and all state, they're all linked to on the NCMEA choral website. There's a section and then it says student events, and that's where all three of those are. I was going to suggest all state as the next thing. Honors chorus is pretty difficult to get into. Back when they were saying the numbers, sometimes 600 to 900 kids would audition. And Kristen uh, Kristen and Evan especially, that means there's probably, if there were 900 kids auditioning, there were 700 sopranos and altos, and maybe 60 tenors and 60 basses or something like that. Which has a lot of implications. Number one, if your kid is a tenor or a bass and they can handle the part with reasonable tone, they have a really good shot at making honors chorus. Um, if they if they're singing soprano and alto, they better know that thing like the back of their hand and bring themselves in and not get lost in an instrumental. It's usually like 4 or 5 pages of something, or it's a minute of music singing usually. Um, but for the tenors and basses, it's a big opportunity and they need them. They need guys because they want about 20 of every voice, and that's soprano one, soprano two, alto one, alto two, tenor one, tenor two, bass one, bass two, and they want to fill up those lower parts so that the choir is balanced. So that's definitely an opportunity. One year I had a kid sing tenor two. They had enough tenor twos, but his score was in an acceptable realm and they needed a couple more bass ones. And they were like, look, if he can't sing the low G at the end of that one song, he can fake it. Like fake it till he make it. He can sing the pitches he can, and it helped out a lot. And so all state is a little different. You'll get allotments, which means you pick the kids that go. So, and also honors chorus auditions are in September, so you have to start like now to prepare the kids. All state is in March. They just have to know the music when they show up there. You teach it to them, so it's a lot lower. It's a lot lower stress. But in both of those things, and hopefully in um, Carteret County, is that where Kristen said? And Pitt County, you're having um, all county chorus, like local district level things. And when you go to those things, you pay attention and lap up everything that guest director or clinician is giving, because it's just tips or way to rephrase things. The first year I taught, I went to honors chorus, and I was just blown away. I was soaking up everything that It was the director from State, North Carolina State, and just everything he said, I was just writing it down. And my one kid that was in honors chorus knew like the next 3 weeks, everything I said was like, "You got that from him?" Yeah, okay, but he was right. So we're going with it. And so I always look to learn from those guest people. And I went to honors chorus twice, even when I didn't have anybody make it. Um, just stepped in there for a little bit and listened to what the clinician had to say, because you just get a lot the way they'll explain something and the kids do it, and it's something you already told them. You've told them that every day in your chorus class, and then somebody else says it a different way, and poof, it's magic, and they listen. So, all kind of things to glean from that.
Like even if you don't have kids make it to honor course or anything like that, still come to the conference. Is in November. I think it's usually what is I have it
Veterans Day
somewhere.
weekend.
Yes, thank you. It's in Winston-Salem. They have grants available for the first year teachers, so definitely take advantage of that. And um, even like if your mind is somewhere, just being there in that space with all the music folks, if there's something there, that just takes it to the next level. Um, just picking back on James, yes, with the music list MPA, the board, we've been doing doing a lot of cleanups lately, and we've been going through it a lot. So it's still there, just as a reference, but like what Lindsay says, a lot of the times, people go in as level one, and just go with what works well with your kids. So don't feel like that's the only thing you have to go off of that list. Any other questions before we start to wrap up? Evan, Kristen, or anyone? No worries. So yeah, so I think Beth put my email and also her email in the contacts, or sorry, in the messages in the box. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. I know it's a lot, especially with your first year. Just start somewhere and just go with it.
Just don't try to do everything at once. Don't do that
Right.
to yourself. Just add one or two things.
And feel free to reach us out on social media, Facebook, friend me, I don't care. But yeah, wishing you all the best, and then good luck with the school year. Have fun. It's going to be challenging, but yet it's very rewarding. So
Hope to see you guys out there in the world and conference and stuff, and any of the events. My school has not ever done any of that, ever. So I'm hoping to be a trend center. But luckily Onslow County is really, really supportive. So, and they do, I'm sure you guys know, lots of people, Jen Mahalchek is one of them. She takes kids to honors course and stuff, but I'm excited to be able to come back to the middle school world and hang out with you guys too. So, but we'll see each other soon.
Thank you, guys.
Evan, what school are you at again?
I'm at Pactolus Global.
Okay. There's a couple of teachers, I'll tell you, in Pitt County that have been in the middle school world a really long time. We've had them come be our clinicians, and they've been MPA judges forever. Paul Flowers
Uh-huh.
is a name I think you'll want to know. Really incredible guy. He's been
Yeah.
over the NCMEA Teacher of the Year stuff for quite a while. I think just won it maybe like year before last or something. But Paul, there's a Greenville Choral Society, which is
Uh-huh.
like a children's choir that he's done for a really long time.
It's an adult one too. He was talking about it today. We had our music meeting,
Okay, yeah.
and I think he said that he's having a group of adults go to Carnegie Hall.
Yes, yeah, very cool. And Stephanie Peo is another one. Did you guys meet her? Taller lady, short hair, glasses.
Yeah.
Gosh, really, really good. She was an MPA judge several times. She was the section president for a while. So you've got some major veterans right there in driving distance, talking distance, and stuff. So they reached out to me and supported me. So they'd be in your corner 100%. So.
Yeah. What has been very nice to hear is a lot of people have suggested that I go to their classroom and watch them teach. Just have like a couple of observation days, talk to my admin about it, and try
Doesn't
to.
NCMEA pay for some of that? Isn't that like a
Yeah,
mentoring?
that's
I
what
think they
Carol
would.
was saying
Yeah.
at the beginning of our meeting, and Richard Butler can hook you up with that, but they'll pay for your sub to cover your class that day. So it doesn't come out of your check or your program or whatever. And you can take and you get to take your like you can do I don't know, in our county it's a reason for professional development leave. So you're not eating up a sick day or a personal day, which you probably don't even have at this point. So they can cover that for you.
Yeah.
Kristen, I think you say you're near Hickory, right? So if you know Carla Reed from William Lenore Middle School, she's a great mentor to reach out to. And also Mindy Cook from Heritage Middle School. They're near you, and I'm not too far from you either. So if you have any questions, reach out to me.
Yeah, same. I just put the same thing in the chat, but I did it privately.
Yeah, Carla Reed's in that same world, like been around for 20 some years. She's been our all county clinician, teacher of the year, section president. Yeah, a really great musician too. If you need somebody to accompany, you'll need a piano player. That's something we don't talk about, but everybody needs to find some piano playing friends. Makes a big
I swear,
difference.
everyone I meet, I'm like, I'm like, do you play piano? And
Yeah.
we had our county meeting today, and I was like hitting up everyone. I was like, what dates? How are you free? And I'm like, oh, what do you need? Do you like baked goods? And it's like it's a hot commodity. Here I wonder, I wish that I learned how to play piano better so that I could be in this to make that money. So,
Yeah, you can do things by track, but if you get off that track, like we
done.
just smile and wait for it to end, or you have a signal for the sound guy to fade it out or something. And but further than that, I mean, it just when you have a live some person collaborating with you, you can really make music together, and they can respond to you in a way that the track is just not going to cooperate. And unless I made my own tracks for several years, but unless that publisher's accompaniment track matches your retard is exactly how you wanted it in the accompaniment, you're at the mercy of how fast they sludge through what could have been a really magical moment or whatever. There was something else I was going to mention earlier that I forgot. Substitutes, when you are out, you're not going to have somebody that can teach your kids like to carry on necessarily. I have had a couple of really exceptional years with eighth graders where I could leave them the music and the tracks and they would rehearse with them. If they, first off, find yourself a good sub and get those dates that you're going to be out. If you're going to honors chorus or all state, or you're going to be out for some reason, get a sub and get the same sub in there every time, so they at least know the kids and she knows what's up and they know what's up instead of like, oh, this sub doesn't know anything. I'm gonna pretend I have to go to blah blah. Or we throw the music in the crate after class. We don't orderly pass it in, or we don't have procedures or whatever. Find yourself ask the other teachers at your school who's the good sub, and then get them your dates, get them your dates now, so that nobody else is, especially if it's on a Friday. If you wait to try to find a Friday in April sub in March or April, like you're not. They're going to be taken up because that's what happens. So find yourself a good sub, get them the dates you're going to be out as soon as you're going to be out. Establish a procedure with your kids. And I did a thing, and my kids said I was schizophrenic for doing it. But I made a 90-minute class rehearsal video of me having class in an empty room, and I would call them out for the things that they always do. Like we're just mid warm up. Hold on, Sarah, spit your gum out, please. And then like lo and behold, that day I was out, Sarah had gum because Sarah always freaking has gum. because they do the same stuff every day. No matter who they are, what they are, they're just they're the same people. They're the same kid every single day, so they do the same junk. So make a video. You can, even if it's just warm ups, like make a video. Set your computer or your phone, video yourself at the piano or something, directing warm ups, and they can do that with the sub. And that's 10 minutes. The sub doesn't have to find something for them to do, and call a kid out and make fun of them in a non-threatening, bullying way. Like so and so, are you going to stop hitting him? Like, stop poking him. You always poke him, or whatever. And they'll be like, whoa, is Miss Thomas in the room? Like, how did you know she did that? Because she does it every day, like every 5 minutes. So anyway, that's what I got to say about
I have a
that.
question.
Yeah.
When are your first concerts of the year?
In middle school, we were contractually obligated to do two. And so it was December and May every year. And anything else would have felt like a rush. I thought about having a fall concert, but it'd have been there's nothing wrong with short concerts, but it'd have been a pretty short concert.
I had high hopes that maybe I'd have an October concert, but I think that was what it was, a high hope. I think I'm going to not do that to myself. Because I'm also looking at like when I scheduled it and then my December concert and seeing that it was only a few weeks between, and that's not enough time.
Yeah, you
So,
if you had it in October, bam, it's November. Oops, Thanksgiving.
yeah,
Oops, exams or whatever, and you'll have kids miss the whole week of Thanksgiving.
yeah. Well, coming
As
from
well.
elementary, I had to have a concert for every grade level. And so if I was overlapping with the instruction, it was just because it was just different grade levels. So I think I have to get out of that mentality a little bit. I'm a little stuck in there. So, but I know
I
that
would,
some people
sorry.
do it. Sorry. Some people have an October concert, but I feel like maybe this is not my year to start that. Maybe I just need to ease myself in.
I second the easing yourself in. I will say, the orchestra teacher and I have the exact same schedule, but he does in October, December, and February, May, I think. I don't know how he does it, if we're being honest. And he usually schedules his concerts on nights that I am already doing something, so I can't necessarily go to them and support. But I also know that he uses it as a time to show their growth. So it's not necessarily like, let's have this polished and pretty in October, for it to be, a beautiful concert. He's like, here's what we've been working on, parents. This is what your kid's learning. And then in December, maybe do one of those pieces that they've been working on. And it's here's the growth that we've made. So I think that he uses it as more of that than like a perfect polished, here's our end product type thing, which may be an option for you. I don't know how you want to run things, but I do.
We call those
I do.
informances where it's
Yeah,
all about
exactly.
the info. I did not do well at those at the elementary school level either. So maybe I just again ease in. My other question that I always have is the first week of school. So my first week, I start on Monday, our first week of school. First week of school, like what, I mean, it's policy, your procedures and stuff, but what are some other things do you do?
I do like I'm gonna try something new this year with like a whole stations thing on the first day, but that's an experiment. Um, but I make sure I build the classroom rapport so that they're not scared to sing around each other. Because middle school, they are so scared to sing. So we do crazy, silly things. So I'll have them like throw a beanbag around the room, and then I'll have them throw it to the beat, and then I'll have them throw it and say like their name in a rhythm or something, and then I'll have them do a siren on their favorite food, and they have to like repeat things that other people said. It's just silly. So my whole first couple weeks is like goofy, random stuff just to get them comfortable. Like, I don't know what anybody else does, but my classroom's weird. It gets weird.
I sing on the first day. I teach them the song, rotes, all that, cannons, rounds, whatever you can get. Just go for it. And then, icebreakers, I just make them do it. I'd like to do the one, it goes like step in, step out, turn yourself around. I said step in, step out. So they have lots of fun with that.
I don't know if you've heard the like mango, mango, mango. That one, that's one that I use in 6th grade. It kills every time. They eat it up, and I usually, if I don't do it day one because I'm yapping too much, I at least put it in day two. My goal is to get to it in day one. Because they chose to be there, yes, but I want them to stay in my class. So I try to rope them in early and say, hey, we can have fun. And then I'm also procedures. Here's how these things are going to go. But I don't want you to think that we're going to be sitting in this classroom just going over things all day. Like we're going to be up and singing and moving and all that jazz. So I want them to get that from the get-go.
Circling back a question, if everybody's done with that, about October things. I always thought it would have been a good idea if I could have fit it in, or if maybe that's what I start at the end of 7th grade and have the 8th graders already like working on some music at the end. And the rising 8th graders already have a piece that's sort of like in their minds when they show up. But if you don't have an October concert, which a lot of people don't, it is important to get them to perform early and not wait till halfway in the year and have their first performance, because middle schoolers are a lot about identity and they are what they do. Like, that's a preppy kid, or oh, he's a football player or whatever, but they're not a choir kid or a choir musician or a singer until they've done it in front of somebody. And so letting them go all the way to December before they've ever gotten in front of anybody to sing is a really long time. If they have something there, like, I don't know, we had a assistant principal that was really hung up on having a Veterans Day thing every year. So at least by November, we sang America the Beautiful for, we live near, there's a large military base near Fayetteville, Fort Bragg. And so we learned America the Beautiful and the national anthem. And the audience wasn't, it was during the school day, but the audience wasn't peers. So it was veteran or currently active duty, um, military families and those children. And so it also got me to help me show that, like, we don't just sing to sing because we're in school and we say we sing. Like, music has a purpose. And so this is a Veterans Day thing, so we're going to sing something that's going to move people, not just your parents going, "Oh, there's my little Beth. She makes me so proud," or whatever. But they get up there and they do it. Or if you have like a football pep rally, they know that, like, the national anthem, even though it's a really cruddy song to have to sing when your middle school voice range is this big. But let them just hack through the national anthem. That's like the first thing I would teach every year. Um, and then they could do that at something, anything like a volleyball game, a award ceremony, or just something like that. If you get them up in front of people, they start seeing themselves as, choir kids, and it becomes part of, who they are, instead of just, I was in that class, I don't want to do that class again.
Thank you.
Anything else, y'all? Okay. Well,
All hearts and minds clear. Yeah.
well, thank you so much again, for all of you for coming on here and doing what you do. Hopefully, we will see each other soon at a conference or something, or at MPA or something like that. So please say hi. Don't be a
Yes, please
stranger.
say hi.
And if you ever need anything, please feel free to reach out to us. Alrighty. Well,
All
have a
right.
great night,
Bye,
y'all.
guys. Have a good night.
Bye. Adios.
Bye.